I present tonight's speaker, Mr. Douglas Jackson. Now, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, I'm pissed. I am royally pissed.
I'm pissed as well. Royally pissed. I know how it feels to see this man on your screen right now. For those of you who do not know, Sauce Gardner is out for the season for an MCL tear in a simulation game, a game in which our user played, by the way. Hard-fought game between the Jags and the Jets took place. The Jags took the win, and for whatever reason, the game did not register. EA Sports still trash. The incompetency of EA Sports does not make us fall short, though, in a lot of different areas. They got draft glitches, roster glitches, XP glitches, glitches in gameplay, and now games don't register. We should have seen this coming. Whoever the head of the RMC was previously should have seen this coming, but yet we have a user who's fighting for the playoffs, who has 2 huge games ahead of him, who needs to be playing his best football right now. Loses 2 starters on defense, 1, including Sauce Gardner, to an MCL tear. The other, by the way, is 82 overall Grover Stewart, out with a broken ankle. How do you explain this? Played a hard-fought game, sustained no injuries, and then lose 2 starters to a simulation? Of course, I blame EA. EA's to blame for a lot of stuff. But as the head of the RMC now, myself, I will be bringing this up in our conversations, in our meetings, because I don't think that's right. I don't think you should have to suffer or even take the risk of losing players when you played the full game. And if you're trying to justify what Christian is going through, you suck just as bad as EA. And you're cold and you're heartless. You understand? We will be bringing it up because I believe if any game does not register, when we advance that week, injuries should be turned off. If all games register and there's just some fair sims, some forced wins taking place, don't touch it. But if one game does not register, injury should be turned off of that advance, because they should not take that risk when they did what they were supposed to do and didn't suffer injuries. They didn't suffer those casualties. But we're gonna make them take that risk. That's not right. It's not right. Christian, I feel for your dog. At this point, there's nothing we can do about it. So you're gonna have to chalk it up to the game, take that L, keep it pushing, and try to find a way to overcome this adversity. But I'm gonna at least bring it up, and I'm gonna do anything I can in my power to make sure this happens to nobody else, that this never happens again. Because again, it is not right. And if you're trying to justify this, you are not right. All right, man, we're going to transition to some games of the week. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to Around the League, man. I just had to get that off my chest because it bothered me. Because I played this man this week, and he doesn't have his best corner, let alone his best corner, a D tackle he traded for. And has been playing well. 82 overall, Grover Stewart broke his ankle. Yeah, it bothers me. And yeah, I'm pissed.
Royally pissed. Indeed, indeed. All right.
Falcons took on the Arizona Cardinals this week in week 17 and essentially knocked the Cardinals out of the playoffs. I mean, hey, when you dominate the time of possession like the Falcons did, when they can't stop the run and you force turnovers, you find yourself in the win column. Now, as the Arizona Cardinals is back to the drawing board. You got to finish out this year strong because you got a big offseason ahead of you, and I think going into next year, you could do something special. So try to finish off on the right foot. I know it doesn't feel good taking this loss week 17, being knocked out the playoffs, but try to take something positive and finish out on a strong note. Let's transition over to our second game, our game of the week, the Bucks versus the Panthers, which I thought was going to be a very good game because this game might as well decide the NFC South. Both 10-5, week 17. Number 1 and number 2 in that division, 45-14 blowout. You would think the Panthers would have cared just a little bit more. Apparently not, because they conceded and pretty much gave up in the first half. Buccaneers handling their business, finishing strong in the year, done rattled off a few wins in a row. I think that's his 4th win in a row now. And looking to going into the playoffs on a strong note. So watch out for the Buccaneers, man. 45-14 as they embarrass the Carolina Panthers and probably win the division too. On to our next game. The Dolphins and the Patriots. Now, this is a big game for the Patriots because they're on the fringe of making the playoffs and they need to beat a very, very good Dolphins teams to ensure that their spot is secured. So how can they do that? What the Patriots need to do is, number one, limit the turnovers. Mac Jones has been a turnover machine this year, and he has put their defense in bad situation after bad situation. And you cannot do that against a Dolphins team that's explosive as they are. Tua is very good at managing the game. He's very good at getting the ball out quick, getting the ball to the playmakers. They run the ball down your throat. They'll play action to hit the open man downfield for those big plays. Tua's not trying to be a superhuman. He's not trying to be a hero. He's doing exactly what he's being asked to do, and that's manage the football game and get the ball to playmakers. Shout out to Tua, but the Patriots need to limit those big plays. They need to stop the run, and they need to stop turning the ball over. But with that being said, I got the Dolphins coming out with the win on this one. Let's transition to our MVP watch. Now, this is special to me because Jordan Love is by far my favorite quarterback that I've ever had in my Madden history, my Madden career. We're doing these leagues with you guys. Every year, it seems to be another excuse. The first 2 Maddens I played was 18 and 19. Oh, the only reason why you win all these Super Bowls is because you had a good team. You got Joey Bosa and Phillip Rivers and Mike. I had the Chargers running through people, winning Super Bowls. Excuses were made. So going into Madden 20, they gave me the worst team from the previous year, which was the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray was a 72, 73 overall star development, didn't have no abilities, didn't have escape artists, didn't have none of that when the game launched. He was a rookie. Undefeated seasons. We took some losses in the playoffs, but guess what? We got over the hump and won some Super Bowls as well. Oh, the only reason why you win is because you got Kyler Murray. What? You can't be serious. Going into the next year, they gave me the Houston Texans. I drafted 66 overall normal dev quarterback. This is Madden 22, by the way, last year. I didn't play in 21. He took me to a Super Bowl. Guess what they said? Oh, he's actually a very good player. He just has a low awareness rating. Another excuse. Please, what's the next excuse for Jordan Love? All of y'all wrote him off. I got the receipts. He ain't it. His throwing motion is too slow. He not a fast QB. I had him the last year, man. He just wasn't getting the job done. I done heard it all from left and right. And he has 42 touchdowns and 14 picks while missing the first 6 games of the year. Now, that's something else we can get to. Not only can you not make excuses for this man, but he has overcome more than any other QB I've ever had. He's overcome politics, people literally changing rules because they found out I had a trade for Jordan Love and neglecting the rest of the rule book, as y'all have soon found out. Put all that energy into stifling this man's development, into stifling this man's success, and he's still out there balling. That's how you overcome. And that's how you separate the real from the haters. You understand? When people are worried about what you got going on, it's because they not handling their own business. You understand? Jordan Love putting all of that to rest. He may not win the MVP. He's at the top of the ladder now, but we still got 2 games left against 2 very good opponents. You never know how it may shake out. We may not make a Super Bowl run. We may well make a Super Bowl run. I don't know what the future holds. All I know is up until this point right now, Jordan Love has been the best quarterback since that trade took place. They changed the rule to stifle this man's development. They told me it was more realistic for you to trade for him in week 6, week 7, whatever it was, and have him practice a few days and play on Sunday than it is for you to get a backup quarterback from somebody else's team in the preseason and let him go through camp with the team, like Baker Mayfield just did. I could rattle off other examples. I ain't got the time. Politics, agendas, excuses, a bad roster. Jordan Love has overcome all of it up until this point, and I'm excited to see what he does to not only finish the year, but in the postseason. But wherever the chips fall, he is my favorite quarterback that I've ever had up until this point. It's all love, baby. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to Around the League.
Here are 15 things you should know about your haters. Number 1, if they could do it better, they would have done it already. Done. Case closed. Mic drop. This is the main reason why people hate. To be honest, we could end the video right now and it would still be an amazing video. If your haters could have done a better job at whatever it is you're doing than you, they would have done it already. Number 7, they're filled with envy. You know what they say, those who can't envy those who can. One of the differences between the successful and the unsuccessful is what they feel when they look at someone achieving success. Those on the road to success will look at someone who already has achieved it and be inspired, be motivated, and even get more passionate about making it. On the other hand, when a hater sees someone doing well, they don't feel inspired. They feel a different feeling. They feel envious. The problem is, out of the two, only the first one actually improves your current situation. Number 8, they'll justify your success as luck instead of hard work. When they can't understand it, they'll say you got lucky, that you had connections. They'll say anything in order to justify themselves why you got it, but don't really deserve it. This is probably the most common way people hate on each other. It's easy, and it takes out of the equation the possibility that someone has simply worked their asses off in order to get where they are. It is way too hard to comprehend how someone who's got the same hours in a day as you, with the same 2 eyes, 2 hands, and 2 legs, could achieve something that you yourself could not. They're gonna say you got lucky, but the thing is, the harder you work, the luckier you get.